Emily had been working as a waitress at the Maple Grove Diner for nearly 5 years. Every morning, she arrived before sunrise, tied on her faded blue apron, and greeted customers with the same cheerful smile, even when life gave her very little to smile about. She lived in a tiny apartment, struggled to pay rent every month, and often skipped meals to save money. Still, she believed one simple rule had guided her life since childhood: treat everyone with kindness, no matter who they are. The diner was always crowded during the dinner rush. Customers filled every table, the kitchen buzzed with orders, and the staff rushed back and forth carrying trays of steaming food. The owner, Mr. Collins, cared more about making money than making people feel welcome. He constantly reminded his employees that customers who spent the most deserved the best service. One rainy evening, as thunder echoed outside and heavy rain soaked the streets, the diner door slowly opened. An elderly woman stepped inside, her old gray coat dripping with rainwater. Her shoes were muddy, her hair was untidy, and she carried only a small worn handbag. The moment she entered, several customers glanced at her before quickly looking away. A few even frowned, assuming she was homeless. The hostess hesitated, unsure whether to seat her, but before she could say anything, Mr. Collins leaned toward her and whispered, "Put her in the corner. She probably won't order much. Don't waste time." Emily overheard the comment and felt her heart sink. She watched as the old lady quietly walked toward the smallest table near the window. The woman looked tired, cold, and hungry, but there was also a gentle dignity in her eyes that caught Emily's attention. Without hesitation, Emily grabbed a clean menu and approached the table with a warm smile. "Good evening, ma'am," she said kindly. "Welcome. I'm Emily, and I'll be taking care of you tonight." The old woman looked up with grateful eyes. "Thank you, dear. That's the first smile anyone has given me today." Emily smiled even wider. "Then I'm glad you came here." She handed her a towel to dry her hands and brought a glass of warm water instead of cold because she noticed the woman was shivering. Small acts of kindness came naturally to her. The elderly woman studied the menu for a long time before quietly asking, "Could you tell me which meal costs the least?" Emily knew exactly what that question meant. She had heard it before from people who counted every coin. "The vegetable soup is our cheapest meal," Emily replied gently. "But it's also one of my favorites." The woman sighed softly and opened her handbag. Inside were only a few coins. "I'm afraid I don't have enough." For a moment, silence filled the table. Emily looked around to make sure no one was watching. Then she leaned closer and whispered, "Don't worry about it. Tonight dinner is on me." The old woman's eyes filled with tears. "Oh, child, I couldn't let you do that." "It's not charity," Emily said with a smile. "It's simply one person helping another." She placed the order in the kitchen and secretly paid for the meal with money she had planned to use for groceries after work. A few minutes later, she returned with a hot bowl of soup, fresh bread, and a cup of tea. "I didn't order tea," the woman said. "I know," Emily replied. "But everyone deserves something warm on a rainy night." The elderly woman smiled for the first time since entering the diner. As she slowly ate, Emily checked on her often, making sure she was comfortable despite the growing crowd demanding attention. From across the room, Mr. Collins noticed Emily spending extra time at the corner table. His face darkened with irritation. "What are you doing?" he snapped when she returned to the counter. "I'm just helping a customer." "Helping doesn't pay the bills," he growled. "Focus on the people who actually spend money." Emily lowered her eyes but said nothing. Deep inside, she knew she had done the right thing. As the rain continued to fall outside, neither Emily nor anyone else in the diner realized that this simple act of kindness was about to change her life forever. The following morning, Emily woke up with a heavy heart. After losing her job, she had no idea how she would pay next month's rent or buy groceries. She replayed the previous evening over and over in her mind, wondering if helping the elderly woman had been worth the cost. Every time doubt crept in, she remembered the woman's grateful smile and quietly told herself she would make the same choice again. Meanwhile, Maple Grove Diner opened as usual. Mr. Collins proudly walked around giving orders, convinced he had taught his staff an important lesson about following company rules. The employees worked in silence, still shocked by Emily's dismissal. Around 10 o'clock, the sound of expensive engines echoed outside. One by one, several sleek black luxury cars pulled into the diner's parking lot. Curious customers pressed against the windows to watch. A group of well-dressed security guards stepped out first, followed by a tall man in an elegant suit. His confident presence immediately drew everyone's attention. He entered the diner and calmly asked, "Who is the owner of this restaurant?" Mr. Collins hurried forward with a wide smile. "That would be me. Welcome, sir. How may I help you?" The man looked around before asking another question. "Where is the young waitress who served my mother last night?" Mr. Collins looked confused. "Your mother?" "Yes," the man replied. "The elderly woman who came here wearing an old coat." The entire restaurant fell silent. Mr. Collins quickly realized who he was talking about and awkwardly laughed. "Oh, her? I fired that waitress after she broke company policy." The stranger's expression instantly turned cold. "You fired her for showing kindness?" Mr. Collins tried to defend himself. "She gave away food without permission and spent too much time serving someone who wasn't paying." The man took a slow breath before speaking. "My name is Daniel Carter." Several customers gasped. Everyone recognized the name. Daniel Carter was one of the country's youngest billionaires, owner of a massive business empire worth billions of dollars. He continued, "The woman you treated as unimportant is my mother." Silence filled every corner of the diner. Daniel explained that after building his fortune, his mother insisted on traveling alone from time to time, dressed as an ordinary person. She believed that a person's true character was revealed by how they treated someone who appeared to have nothing. "Last night," Daniel said, "most people ignored her. Some judged her before she even spoke. But one waitress treated her with dignity, respect, and genuine compassion. She even paid for my mother's meal using her own money." Mr. Collins' face turned pale. I didn't know." "No," Daniel replied firmly. "You didn't care to know." Without another word, he turned to one of his assistants, who handed him a folder filled with legal documents. "I've already made an offer to purchase this restaurant." Mr. Collins laughed nervously. "You can't be serious." "I'm completely serious." Within hours, the paperwork was completed. Daniel legally became the new owner of Maple Grove Diner. His first decision was immediate. "Mr. Collins, you're dismissed." The former owner stood speechless as security escorted him from the building. Daniel's second order was even more surprising. "Find Emily." Later that afternoon, Emily received a phone call asking her to return to the diner. Nervous and confused, she walked through the doors expecting another argument. Instead, every employee stood waiting for her. Daniel stepped forward with a smile. "My mother asked me to thank you personally." The elderly woman entered behind him, now dressed elegantly but wearing the same warm smile Emily remembered. "You treated me with kindness when you believed I had nothing to offer," she said softly. "People like you are rare." Emily's eyes filled with tears. Daniel handed her an envelope containing a generous bonus, and then offered her the position of general manager with a salary she had never imagined earning. "I don't want someone who only knows business," he said. "I want someone who understands people." Emily accepted through happy tears. Over the following months, the diner became known not only for its delicious food but also for its welcoming atmosphere. Every customer, regardless of appearance or wealth, was treated with equal respect. Business flourished, employees enjoyed working there, and the restaurant became a beloved part of the community. Standing by the front door one busy evening, Emily watched customers laughing together, and remembered the rainy night that had changed everything. She smiled, realizing that kindness never truly goes unnoticed. Sometimes, the smallest act of compassion opens the biggest doors, proving that a generous heart is more valuable than money, and that doing the right thing always leaves a lasting reward.